I have to give Chainsaw Man a massive amount of credit that they didn't have this whole training montage stuff take weeks and weeks of episodes. Just get it done. Like, hey, yeah, they fought a couple times. He's like, all right, we're good. We're gonna go on a weekly regiment. We're good. Like, it doesn't take like typical shonen type stuff where it's gonna be like the next 5 episodes is nothing but them training over and over again to unlock some new ability. It's like, just nope, we're done. But no, the mystery around Makima continues. We have another episode of Makima being massively OP. And I don't know, I think at this point I'm settling on, I believe she is contracted or is the Death Devil. I really do believe it's just the generic Death Devil. Like, super overpowered, super dangerous, and yes, can kill people. Because in our previous introduction of her abilities, we had a bunch of people whose chest been blown open, the fact that she got shot and she didn't die, and then she started crushing people just by having their names. So my thought process there was maybe it was control, the ability to control people, but I really couldn't understand what was the point of having to have the name. And of course, what popped in my head at some point was the Death Note Devil. What I had kind of pop in my head was the Death Note Devil. Like, the joke around the Death Note, it's been going on so long, and it's been used by so many people as a way of relieving their stress, believing that they can write down names and take them out. I mean, that makes sense. She needs a name. She has a name, then she can say how they die. It makes sense that she would be the Death Note Devil God contract. But no, I believe it's either going to be death, like I said, because she does get shot and she comes back. It's going to be control, and the idea that she can control what these people believe that happened, and then she was able to control them physically. Or possibly, and this episode kind of alluded to it, the possibility of it being more government. I would not doubt it. I mean, if you have all these other types of devils, you have a tomato devil. If you have a tomato devil, you can have a government devil. A devil that is fed off of the fear of the government itself. And what is she talking about? Well, I hope this goes successful, because then the public safety can get bigger. They can go public. Thus, the belief of this idea of the government having a very dangerous group of people. She wants that. She would love that. That way people fear the government more. And technically getting rid of what the government's competition is. The criminal organizations. Taking out all the mafia groups. She wants to wipe out anything that would possibly pull control away from the government. Pull fear as an organization away from the government. So, I don't know. Death, control, Death Note, or government. One of those things. But no, solid episode. We got the introduction right off the bat with Aki meeting the future devil, and that guy was super weird. Kind of matches in the intro, him dancing around. The future is amazing. The future is amazing. Come on, say it with me. He's like, no, I'm here for business. He's like, okay, well, let's see what you got. And I was kind of curious about that in the previous episode. Like, how would he know what he would want to take away? Because, again, Aki's only got 2 years, apparently, so what good would it have having him get 1 year out of a contract? So he looks into his future. That's how he can see how long he would live. But it was interesting, in the anime, they translated it as, all I'm going to ask is that you let me reside in your right eye. You're thinking to yourself, why? That's not asking much. Well, the truth is, he believes that his death is going to be crazy. Now, the manga itself says, your death is going to be the worst way possible. That's a bit of a difference there. So I don't know which one's translating wrong. I didn't really listen to the actual Japanese to figure it out, but it's one of those two things, and I think the manga states a little better than that idea of not that, yeah, granted, it's like, yeah, it's going to be an awesome death. Like, you're going to splatter all over a wall, and it's going to look great. No, you're going to die in the worst ways possible. Like, it's going to be a terrible death. It kind of has a different meaning there. One seems cool, and one seems horrific. And yeah, he's like, I can let you know what it is. He's like, no, I don't care. Aki's like, I don't care. Just come on. I got things to kill. As long as I can kill those things, I don't care. Which is kind of makes sense. I mean, would you really want to know? You might as well just not know when it's coming. That way it can just happen. Because you're not going to be able to stop it. Or, I mean, the assumption is that you can't stop it. Who knows? Maybe the possibility of him having this future sight, he can see when it comes and avoid it. I don't know. I don't know the extent of that. I don't think he would make a pact with him knowing that he can use that ability to get away from it. Unless it turns into a whole Final Destination thing where things just keep happening until you die. But yeah, he leaves there. They're driving down the road, and Kurose starts reaming Aki. Which kind of sucks, because I kind of hoped that we had some sort of introduction of Tendo and Kurose doing something. Just to see Kurose and Tendo talk down on him real bad. So you kind of hope that you got to see them in action to kind of prove that they're... Not that if they're a higher position, they can't talk down to Aki, but it does seem like Kurose is talking down to him in almost a belittling way, which makes sense to Kurose. He's literally saying, dude, you're acting all high and mighty and you're really weak, and it makes me mad. I really hate this this attitude that you have. He says, like you, we also joined to get the Gun Devil. But the difference is Kurose knows that he can't stop the Gun Devil. And if Aki can't even stop a group that can take down that only took down 20 people, how's it going to stop the Gun Devil that's taken out millions in seconds? It doesn't make sense to Kurose, and he hates it. But it's nice because you kind of see on that last little statement from him that he's saying it for a good purpose. He's basically trying to help Aki, to show him his limits and point out to him that he's not that strong. But yes, once again, talking about how the special division is full of crazy people, so be careful. I think at this point, all we care about right now is he talking about Makima? I think with this scene, or with that statement, and what Kishibe says later to Makima, we all obviously know at this point, they're really flagging heavily that Makima is dangerous. She has some sort of motives that's unknown at this time, and it's possibly in contrast with what humankind needs. But yes, from Kishibe's side, we see that he moves to a weekly training with Denji and Power. Yay! Like that Power, yay! But additionally say they're going to do some live training through taking down the Snake Devil, contracted lady, and the samurai. Which, yes, cuts us to the scene with Kishibe and Makima, which I think is the most telling scene in this episode. Other than Makima being OP later on. Which Kishibe basically says, look, I thought it would be different with these two toys. I'm tired of training kids. Maybe it's because I'm getting older and getting sentimental, but he doesn't like it. He's getting sentimental with Denji and Power, despite the fact that he thought they were toys that could be broken. But additionally, he questions Makima's motives. Like everybody else, you knew it was coming. I wish I knew why these people knew that she knew it was coming. They still haven't really verified that. Like, Madoka knew it. Kishibe apparently knew it. Like, everybody knew that, thinks that Makima knew. Like, what did she do to insinuate that she knew? Other than the fact that because she was not there, which doesn't make any sense, she still got attacked. Because she had resources there, like the prisoners. What insinuated that she knew? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Even through reading the manga, I don't see where she indicated she knew. Unless it's going to be based off of her past that we don't know about yet. But yeah, he says, I don't care how many of these dogs are going to get killed, but if you're doing what you're doing against the well-being of mankind, that's the only thing I can't forgive. And she's like, oh, well, it's great, because if we do this whole thing and it works out great, then we can go public with this group, and then we'll be able to help more people, more humans. And he's like, you're a liar. And like I said, that's the indication there that as he's saying that she's a liar in the case of that they'll help more mankind. Either way, it's sort of like he's indicating that he knows that Makima possibly isn't doing what she's doing for the well-being of humankind. My current prediction is that she's just doing it for her own self-benefit. Again, if that's the case that it's, a government devil or something like that, she wants to get more powerful through that fear of the government, the control of the government. And right now, she's a secret. Right now, their group is secret. But yeah, Makima's meeting with the mob boss guy was very interesting because, again, it starts to bring up more questions again. She's kind of going, okay, look, we knew something happened. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. They were working on their own. They're all being used by the Sawatari girl. She's the one that's behind it. They made some kind of deal with the Gun Devil that they would give him like 20,000 yen, and in return, they get weapons and ammo. So she's like, that's cool. I need a name of everybody that's involved. And I need the name of the other families, the other mob families. He's like, we can't do that. They would have some inter-family conflict. We'd wipe each other out. And then who's gonna keep things in check around here? I mean, yes, we're kind of a necessary evil. Without us here, you'll have foreign groups coming in, foreign mafia groups coming in. So we're a necessary evil. And he's just like, no, she ain't buying it. Puts a little thing of eyeballs on in a bag on the table and says, yeah, these are eyeballs of all these, different loved ones of these guys in this room. But we have somebody that can put them back in. What? Like a transport devil or something like that? Like who could just pop eyeballs back in to put them back where they need to be? But yes, somebody gets mad and touches Makima, and immediately his nose bleeds and he falls over dead. So again, that was the key point where I'm like, okay, is she gonna stare him down? He'll stop, or is she gonna put a hole in his chest? No, he just literally just bled out and fell over. And that's where it's starting to create the question of, is it just death? Like, in general, that's the thing? Which, to note, when Aki ends up bringing into Sawatari, what happens to her? Her nose starts bleeding. So it does seem like maybe possibly either based on location or based on, I don't know, contracts they may have. Some people are going to be more easier to be taken. Like, it's sort of indicating that Makima can't just go around and take out anybody that she has a name of. That possibly there is limits or possibly ways of countering it. How Sawatari knows that, I don't know. Or possibly Sawatari sacrificed something else to the ghost devil. She didn't specify anything when they encountered. She just said, Snake, spit it out. So it's not as if she created some contract right when it happened. It sort of like indicates the fact that because the snake devil consumed the ghost devil, she now can control it, which doesn't make any sense. But I don't know, maybe she's just using it for transportation. But again, like I said earlier, the last statement that she gave to this mob boss guy was that don't fool yourself, basically. A true necessary evil is one that the nation holds the leash on and maintains control of it. Again, going to my theory that she has some sort of contract with possibly something control or government based. But yes, then we have the division infiltrating to take them out. Kishibe is outside like, let me give a big expedition dump on what's inside in case they get out, you could take them out. There's a shark fiend, which was dumb. We have a spider fiend, which that was a little interesting. A violence devil, which when it turned into a fiend, it still maintained a lot of its power, which typically they don't have that much power when they do turn into a fiend. And they use a mask to poison it to keep it from getting too strong, which is interesting. So I'm assuming at some point we're going to have the mask come off. At some point we'll have the mask come off. And then yes, the most oddly named out of everything in the show so far, besides Tomato Devil, we have an Angel Devil, which I guess technically makes sense. Fallen angel kind of thing. But yeah, apparently anything that the angel devil touches loses some of their lifespan, which I felt in our brief introduction of the angel devil that they already like Aki because Aki wasn't afraid of getting next to them. And that's typically what happens with these type of characters. All it takes to make them go doki doki for another character is the fact that they're not afraid of getting close to them. But my argument there is that Aki knows that he doesn't got much time left anyway, so who cares? But yeah, Aki goes in, sees a bunch of guys fall over, so obviously Makima's working in the background, taking out everybody. And then he confronts Sawatari, has the snake spit out the ghost devil, which was a big shock to Aki, obviously. The ghost devil, which was the same devil that was being used by Himeno. And like I said, Sawatari's nose bleeding, which, like I said, I think might be an indication that Makima's trying to kill her. Anyways, that's episode 11 of Chainsaw Man. Hopefully we have a really awesome ending to this series. Like I said, I was a little bit fearful when they had episode 10 having a training montage, but it looks like they're jumping right back into it. So I'll be excited to see what kind of crazy conclusion we can come to with the next episode. We have a whole episode to try to conclude this whole situation and give us a nice climactic ending. So I'll be excited to see how it goes. Hopefully we get an announcement for a second season when that episode drops. If not, I don't know, I might read a little bit into the manga and a little bit further because it seems like the manga really flows quickly and it has a good, I guess, really good pacing. Granted, the anime is kind of going the same way and that's why the pacing feels so good. But of course, with the anime, they're adding a lot of extra combat sequences with the animation. So, which is a cool thing, making the anime itself transcend the manga. But I don't want to read on if they're going to continue on because, again, the anime is doing so much better. But anyways, that's my thoughts on episode 11. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below. Comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Additionally, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, a tips link, and a super thanks button down below. Greatly appreciate what it does. We also have a membership button down there where you can support the channel directly through YouTube. Special thanks to Ruby Rose, who became a member here recently. And with all that said, y'all take care.